If you were a bird flying through Alaska, this is what you would see. But in case you didn't know, I'm not a bird, so come with me to go flight seeing in Denali National Park. Another day, another adventure, so today we're going deep in the Denali Range in a float plane. So first we have to drive from the national park to Talkeetna, which is about a 2.5-hour drive. After a lot of research, we had decided to take our tour with N2 Alaska, which is a smaller local company, and splurged a little for a private charter. If you've been following along, we're still very much budget travelers, but this is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And now we're off. I've never been in such a small plane before, so it was a little scary, but Dave was great at keeping us calm. As we flew over the forest, we looked for any bears, moose, or land wildlife. Now we can finally see the mountains in front of us. Now I'm gonna say, Dave was a very good tour guide that knew his stuff, but I feel like I blacked out from all the adrenaline and crazy scenery, so I'm gonna do my best at trying to relay that information. Our tour takes us to the Ruth Amphitheater and Gorge, which we're now going through a lot of valley glaciers and flying up the Ruth Glacier. So we're continuing on to go to Denali Base Camp. On the way there, we passed Mount Hunter, and at the bottom of Mount Hunter is the base camp where most of the climbers start their climb up to Denali. We weren't there during peak season, but if you're flying over during peak climbing season, which is May and June, you would see a continuous line of climbers making their way up and down. Now that we're fully in the depths of the mountain range, I'll stop my little chatter and just let my videos speak for themselves. Okay, I'm back. Denali has this thing called the 30% Club, where basically anyone who visits Denali National Park only has a 30% chance of seeing the whole mountain, because usually the peak is hidden in the clouds. But then amazingly, the clouds parted and we were able to see the peak, which is one of the reasons why we went on this flight seeing tour. So now you can consider us the 2 newest members of the 30% Club. Now we're on the way back, but this is probably one of my favorite parts. Sad that we're starting to leave the mountains, but now we're flying directly over the glacier. I just think it's so cool seeing all the crevasses from above and the really vibrant glacier blue in the water. And videos and pictures don't do it justice, but I just couldn't wrap my head over how big these glaciers were, even from above. Like, I love seeing the water snake through the glacier right here. One more time of trying to spot wildlife in the forest. And now we're almost back to the lake for landing. That hour and a half flew by, like literally. If you're visiting Denali, I would highly recommend taking a flight seeing tour, since it doesn't have as much hiking as other national parks, and you can also join the 30% Club. And then one last goodbye to the mountains for now. Saw a moose on the side of the road, so I guess there's our wildlife for the day. And now we're heading back to our campsite. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.